channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 collection Clampdown. So let's take a look at the packaging, and then of course we'll get into the review. So up here, of course, we have a picture of him in his really cool police car mode. Another one right here looking very cool. On this side we do have a nice artwork of him in his robot mode, firing his really cool cannon and his really cool battle axe. Of course, right here we have the Velocitron Speedia 500 collection. On the side here we have Transformers. Also on the side here we have another artwork of him in his really cool looking robot mode. And in the back he transforms in 16 steps, a picture of his robot and alt mode. That's pretty much it for the packaging, so let's now get into the Clampdown is really cool looking at police car mode. Let's take a look at the details. Starting at the very front, we do have a nice police badge there, also an Autobot symbol done with some blue, red, and white. We also do have the headlights there done in black and some more white, of course some more black there, some nice tinted grayish black for the window, also some more on the doors there. We do have the police text. I also really do like how the wheel almost resembles sort of a police badge star, looking super cool with that silver and black. I'm not sure if that was their intention, but it really resembles that to me. Another badge there done in blue and white, and of course that same design at the back wheel. And I really do like this nice vented kind of layered effect for the back of the car. That actually looks super cool. We also do have the light piece. This is one of the accessories, of course. Without it, it would look kind of weird because it is a police car, so it does have to have its light and siren, of course done in red and silver, looking very cool. Another badge there and that same police text, and overall looking super cool, of course. This figure is, of course, utilizing the Kingdom Sideswipe mold, which I'll bring out in just a second for a vehicle mode comparison. And overall actually looks super cool. Rolls very, very well, and overall I actually really do like it. Let's now get into the comparisons. Starting off, here he is with another police car deep cover. This was from the Selects line, looking pretty cool next to each other. Of course, this is using the Siege Sideswipe mold. So, mold-wise, there's actually quite a few changes, of course. Accessories, he does not have his light piece. He only does come with the blaster and missile launcher, of course, in the robot mode. I'll bring those out for comparison as well. But as you can see, of course, the whole front of the car is completely different in sculpt, as well as the doors are completely different in sculpt, as well as the back, as you can see, is very different in a sculpt. Let me just get a quicker, closer view. As you can see there, completely different. A little bit of a side view, as you can see, completely different. And just a front view right there is quite a bit different. But there is a few, of course, characteristics that do stay the same, like the wheels, and of course, really the overall slick design of the car is quite similar as well. That's pretty much it for that comparison. Let's get into some more comparisons. Here he is with the Kingdom Sideswipe, and mold-wise, they are the exact same thing. Of course, this figure did come with the blaster and missile launcher, just of course not that light piece, because this was not a police car or ambulance. But overall, mold-wise, the exact same thing. Really just down to your preference of the deco that you prefer. Overall looks very, very cool. And just quickly taking him off to the side, another comparison. Here he is with Red Alert, the Walgreens exclusive. And as you can see, mold-wise, exactly the same thing. They, of course, do both come with that same light piece. If you're wondering why mine is sticking up a little bit, I don't push it in all the way because I do worry, of course, if the peg will snap off or stress mark. So I typically leave it a little bit out. This one's actually very loose, so I'm glad so I can put that one in all the way. But as you can see, pretty much the same sculpt. Very similar. More of an ambulance and, of course, more of a police car. But overall look very cool. And quickly for a last final shot, here we have all three Earth-based Sideswipe molds from the Kingdom/Legacy line together, looking very, very cool. And of these three, probably my preference is the Clampdown. My second one probably be Red Alert. That's just my opinion. Of these three, which one is your favorite in the comment section down below. And that's pretty much it for the comparisons. Let's now get into the accessories. So, of course, one being is the light piece, so you can just store that right there. It also does come with the missile launcher accessory, which is a very common accessory, of course, among the Kingdom and Siege versions of this mold. And you can just plug this in the side of the car right there, which looks pretty cool. And there is another one on the other side if you want to plug it in there. But it also does come with that same blaster, which you can plug in as well, just like that. And there we have Clampdown fully armored up with his missile launcher and blaster, and that looks pretty cool in my opinion. That's pretty much it for the alt mode. Let's now get into transformation. So, of course, if you have Red Alert or Sideswipe, you know exactly what to do here. So what you're going to want to do is go to the very bottom. You can just open up these panels, just bring them all the way out like this, and then you can extend and, of course, fold out the legs just like that. You can then rotate at the waist, bring that forward, and then you can push out the feet. So you just fold these out just like that. You can then close these panels up, and you can split at the legs just like that. Let me just raise the camera camera up a little bit, and then what you're going to want to do is open these panels out. You can then bring out the arm, and then you can fold these panels up and put these inside. And then what you can do is bring this panel out, collapse this down just like this. You can then fold out the hands, and there we have Clampdown in his really cool looking robot mode. Let's take a look at the details. Clampdown is really cool looking at robot mode. Let's take a look at the details, starting at the very top with that head sculpt. Of course, some nice black for the helmet section, some blue for the eyes, and some silver for the face. Some more silver at that crest section. Getting to the arms, of course, some nice gray for the forearm and white for the hand and shoulder. Getting to the chest, of course, that nice white and that badge symbol with the Autobot symbol on the inside. Some more black for the lights and that chest piece there. Some nice red for the stomach. Some more black for the crotch. Getting to the legs, I really do like this nice blue they use for the knees, that it really pops with the black and the background. That actually looks super cool. Some more gray for the top of the legs, and going to the side, of course, we can see the wheels, which actually looks pretty cool there. That badge symbol on the side of both legs, and on the back overall pretty clean. You have that big window there. We do have the police parts there, looking pretty cool in the back, and overall very slick, really cool looking robot mode. Let's now get into articulation. So ball joint at the head, of course, left to right, up and down. As for the arm, it can move all the way around, of course, out and in, swivel, elbow bends. A little bit of hand articulation if you count that. That's really part of transformation. It does have a waist swivel. You can kick that far out, that far forward, that far back, and a knee bend, a swivel, and an ankle pivot. Pretty standard for a deluxe size figure. Of course, if you do have the Siege or the Kingdom version of this mold, I think you know exactly what to expect for articulation. But overall, looking very, very cool. Let's now get into his accessories. So we already did really show one of them, which is his light piece. So you can store this on his back where it was in the alt mode, but you can actually use it as a weapon, which is pretty cool. So some nice red and silver. He also does come with his standard blaster done in black, which he can hold if you want to. Just plug that into his hand like that. Overall looks pretty cool. And he also does come with his missile launcher, which you can have him hold, or you can put it on his shoulder. So of course you can actually separate this if you want to. Not really sure why, but you can if you want to. Done with some black and red. And you can use this little slot section. Of course there's the slot and tab, and you can just plug this into place like that. And there we have him, fully armed. And again, you can put the light piece on the back if you want to, but you can also use it as an axe. So if you get the blaster, and you just get, of course, the port and peg, and just plug that into place. My advice would not to be put it in all the way again, because you could cause a stress mark. I actually accidentally did that with, I'm pretty sure it was my Siege Red Alert. Unfortunately, there's now a big stress mark on the light piece, which is really unfortunate. So I would not suggest to put it in there all the way in the gun or, of course, the car mode, because it's just not a good idea. But there we go. Here we have him in with his axe and shoulder cannon, looking very, very cool. But I typically have him holding his blaster. I think that looks a little bit cooler, so we can get his blaster back in his hand, like that. And of course, you can put his light piece back here, just like that. And there we have him back in his more neutral pose. Let's now get into some comparisons. So here he is with Red Alert from the Kingdom line, Walgreens exclusive. Mold-wise, of course, they're the exact same thing. Head sculpt, of course, same accessories. They both come with that light piece on the back. And arms, chest, everything else is pretty much the exact same. But overall look pretty cool together. There we go. And just take him off to the side. Now for another comparison with this mold. Of course, this is from the Battle Across Time Kingdom exclusive. And of course, accessory-wise, they both have the same accessories, except of course Sideswipe does not have that light piece. And down to mold, the only change is the head sculpt. As you can see, getting a little bit closer, he does have more of like a horn design. This one's a little bit different. Really, where the face is concerned, pretty much the same sculpts. Really, just they have horns on this one. But looking very, very cool. And taking him off to the side. Now for another Sideswipe mold comparison. Here he is with the Deep Cover Selects figure. Of course, same accessories. Head sculpt, of course, is completely different. This one is from, of course, the Kingdom Sideswipe head. And down to other areas, really it's just where the car is concerned. Of course, that chest piece is really the front of the car, so there is a mold change there. And if we go to the back, you can see some more of those changes from the vehicle mode that we did see earlier. Of course, the back of the legs, some of the area back there, you can see is different. The shoulder section, so yeah, mostly pretty similar where the front of the arms and legs are concerned. Mold-wise, it's pretty much the exact same thing. But overall, really cool looking figures. That's pretty much it for the mold comparisons, the mini decos of this mold. Let's now get into some Legacy Velocitron comparisons. Now for one last final comparison, here we have all 5 Legacy Velocitron Deluxes together. I think overall, the start of the Velocitron subline is actually really, really good. Of course, we have Blur, Rotor Rockets, we have Clampdown, Cosmos, and of course Burnout. So yeah, I think they've actually done really good. Of course, I will be getting Road Hauler, Override, and Scourge very, very soon, and of course I'll be reviewing these other figures over on the channel very soon as well, and I'm pretty sure Cosmos' stop motion should be on the channel right now, so make sure to go check that out after this video. And of course, let me know what you think of this subline, this Velocitron subline, in the comment section down below, and which one is your favorite figure. I think most people probably will say Cosmos, and I think he is definitely going to be my favorite. Let's now move on to the final thoughts for the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Clampdown. So let's start with the Rebel mode. Of course, good accessories. I really do like how you can use the light piece in several different ways. Of course, you can store it on the back or actually make sort of a hammer axe out of it, which is a really cool feature, but I would advise some caution because, of course, unfortunately with my Siege Red Alert, I accidentally caused a huge stress mark on the peg for the light piece because I took it out too fast, I think. I don't know, it was several years ago, and of course I was actually able to get a replacement. Of course, that is a mainline figure. This is an exclusive, so definitely have some caution with it. Lucky enough for me, my piece is actually super loose, so I can plug it in there super easy, and it just pops right whenever I want to. So that's lucky for me. It really just kind of depends on what kind of copy you have. I also really do like the nice missile piece. It's kind of interesting. I didn't point this out earlier. I actually realized this after I did the comparison in the robot mode, but actually the missile piece, or the missile accessory, is actually just slightly darker of a black and red than the Red Alert one. So that's kind of interesting why they had a bit of a darker tint for it. I'm not really sure why they did that. Who knows? Good head sculpt, of course. I do really like all the decals and details on the figure. Nice badges on the chest, and of course on the side of the leg. That actually looks super cool. Overall, very slick, really cool looking figure. Really good articulation. Overall, looks super cool. Probably one of my favorite versions of the Siege Sideswipe mold. Of course, including Kingdom and Siege. All of the Red Alert and Sideswipes and Deep Cover, Tiger Track, all of them. Probably one of my favorites. Not sure if it's my favorites, but definitely in the top 2, I would say. Now, of course, now getting into transformation, if you have any of the versions from Siege or Kingdom, you know exactly what to do. It's about 16 steps. If you've not gotten any of those, if you look at the instructions once, you'll get it down super easy. It's very simple, not really that complex at all. Now getting into the alt mode, I actually really do like the police car mode. Again, just kind of saying what I said earlier, I really do like all the decals and police badges all over the figure. It looks super cool at the front of the car, and of course the side. I also really do like how the big police text on the side of the doors. That actually looks super nice. And again, you can store the accessories in several different ways in the police car mode, which is always nice. Now getting, of course, to the big question, is this a necessary figure for you to get? Because, of course, there's been many versions of this mold. Of course, there was the Kingdom Sideswipe and the Red Alert. Also, of course, there was those figures before done in the Siege version of that mold. Yes, this is the first Clampdown we've gotten of the modern day figure, but is it necessary? Well, of course, if you're a completionist, yes, go ahead and get it. I didn't get this, of course, just to complete the Wave 1 line. I actually really do like it. It actually looks super cool. If you're not a completionist and you just want to get the figures that really, you really want, like Cosmos, Override, and Scourge probably, then just go ahead. You can pass it up. But if you want to complete all the line, and you like all of the other figures, and this one's just kind of meh to you, I would suggest to get it anyway, because it is only $20 if you can find it from retail, and I actually really do like it. Is it my favorite from the Velocitron line? Probably not. Cosmos definitely passes him. He might be my second or third favorite. Burnout might just barely pass him, just because I think he's a little bit more interesting with the new head sculpt. Of course, this is just a straight up redeco of the Kingdom Red Alert, so there's nothing crazy there. And, it could be a good plus for you, because maybe you weren't able to get the Amazon exclusive Sideswipe or the Walgreens exclusive Red Alert. You now have an opportunity, of course, to get the Earth-based, Sideswipe or Siege mold of that character, so it's kind of a good opportunity to get it. Unfortunately, of course, it's also an exclusive, so you're never really cutting any slack on this Earth-based mold. But overall, really cool looking figure. Let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. Of course, the other Velocitron figures are coming very soon. Unfortunately, I'm not supposed to get Road Hauler, Override, and Scourge until about September September. Hopefully they'll be a little bit sooner. That's just what Hasbro says, so maybe they'll be a little bit sooner. They'll get a little bit faster for some reason. It's delayed. Walmart actually has theirs out now, so who knows, maybe they'll speed up. But let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section down below, and I think that's pretty much it. And I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time.